Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video, I'm going to be giving you a few tips on how to survive in college. Now, for those of you who may know me, you would know that I went to a university for a year when I got out of high school, and then I dropped out and took a year off, and now I'm currently studying at a community college. It's probably safe to say that I know the ins and outs of college pretty well. I'm not an expert as I've made a few mistakes, but I'm here to give you some tips based on my mistakes so you can learn from them and you can do better than I did these next few years. Okay, so I'm going to give you tips on a few different things: classes and studying, partying and meeting new people, and dating. So let's get into it. Okay, so I know you want to have fun in college, you want to party and you want to meet new people and you want to get drunk and have sex and all that stuff, but the most important thing that you are in college for is to learn. Trust me, you don't want to end up like me, flunking out of your first year of college and ending up $14,000 in debt. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to do good with your classes and studying and schoolwork and all that. Okay, so to start, let me tell you, you need to go to class. I know it can be very tempting to skip just because you don't have your parents there to get you up and get you to go to school. So sometimes you just want to spend all day in bed. But no, you need to go to class. In a lot of classes, attendance is for a grade, and you might miss enough days and it'll pull you down an entire letter grade. So please, please, please go to class. You should also make sure that you're doing your homework and turning it in on time. A lot of college professors and teachers will actually not accept any late work at all. So if you don't turn it in the day it's due, you won't get any points for it. For me personally, I failed a class in college because I would get half the homework done and feel like I didn't want to turn it in because it wasn't complete. But trust me, getting some points on an assignment is better than getting no points at all, because those zeros in that grade book will really bring you down. If you need help, do not be afraid to raise your hand in class to ask a question. I know you don't want to seem dumb or stupid or like you don't know what's going on, but you're paying this person's salary, so you can ask them all the questions you want. Most college professors also have office hours, so if you forget a question in class, or you don't want to ask in class, or you come up with a question and you want to ask them in person, because sometimes emails can be impersonal or it might take them a while to get back to you, make sure you're utilizing your teacher's office hours, because that's what they're there for. They want to help you. If there's something that your teacher necessarily can't help you with, maybe they're too busy or you miss their office hours, a lot of colleges offer free tutoring programs. And it says free, but it's coming out of your tuition one way or another, so you might as well get your money's worth. Whether you just need extra help studying for an exam or you're really struggling with one class, take as many tutoring sessions as possible. It might seem like a drag to spend all your time doing schoolwork, but when those grades come in and you're not failing classes, you're going to be greatly appreciative that you actually signed up for those tutoring sessions. One thing that's also really important for college is staying organized. It's best to have color-coded folders and notebooks for all your different assignments and classes. This way, your backpack isn't all cluttered and you're not looking through a bunch of different folders and stuff for one assignment. Also, make sure you put a lot of reminders in your notes and on your phone to remind yourself to do your homework or go back on your notes or stuff like that. I know it's easy to go through an entire day of classes and lecturing and notes and then get back to your dorm and you just want to pass out and do nothing. But setting up reminders on your phone just to tell you that you have a homework assignment that you may have forgotten about will really help you. It's also really important to take good detailed notes. You might not always need all the information in your notes, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Lastly, make sure you're studying, because I know in high school a lot of people coasted and just got by on guessing on assignments and stuff like that, but it's really important to study in college. Not just so you can do good on the assignments, but so you can do good in life. You're paying thousands of dollars to get a degree, but it's going to be useless if you can't implement the skills you learned in real life because you never actually learned anything. Now we can move on to the fun stuff: partying and meeting new people. A good way to make new friends is to talk to people around your dorm. They're probably the same age as you and most likely in the same year as you as well, so you probably already have a lot in common. A lot of freshmen also take some of the same classes too, so you might have that in common as well. And a good way to get to know people is to start a study group for the classes you might have. One of the best friends you have in college might actually be your roommate. Me and my old college roommate got along great and we're still friends to this day. We actually had a program called Room Sync in my school, and it's where you match up with your roommate based off your interests, and you can actually talk to them for a little while before you actually move in. I would recommend doing this if your school has a program like this because you'll get better results for your roommate and you know that you'll actually get along. Another great way to meet new people in college is to join clubs and organizations. You'll be able to find people who have similar interests with you and most likely make lifelong friends. A lot of people in college join fraternities and sororities. I personally didn't join a sorority during my time in college, but I would have really liked to because I could see that those girls had a really close connection, and more often than not, people that are in the same sorority as you end up being your friends for life. One of my favorite ways to meet people is to go to parties. Now, parties can be a lot of fun, but they can also be really dangerous. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to stay safe and still have a good time. If you have a little extra money, it's better just to buy your own drinks. If you're not 21, there's plenty of people around campus that are more than willing to buy drinks for you. So make friends with some older people. But I say buy your own drinks because you can pregame in the dorm, and when you go out, you won't have to worry about not being able to find drinks at a party because a lot of parties do serve in college, but not all of them. Also, buying your own drinks extremely decreases the chances of someone putting something in your drink and you getting drugged and blacking out and something really bad happening to you. I know this might sound obvious, but don't drive drunk. It can be tempting because, oh, campus is just so close, or I'm not that drunk. But trust me, most parties are really close to campus anyways, and it's better to make a 15 or 20 minute walk than to risk your life driving. Most colleges have free ride services anyways, and they implement that for your safety, so make sure you're taking advantage of that instead of driving drunk or getting in the car with a drunk driver. It's really important to party at the same few houses. If you're party hopping at 5, 6, 7, 8 different houses, then it can increase your chances of something bad happening to you. Personally, when I was in college, I had 1 or 2 good party spots, and a lot of my friends went there and a lot of people I knew went to those parties. So it's a lot safer being around a lot of people that you know than to go to parties where you're not familiar with the crowd. Now, you're going to meet a lot of new people around school and at parties, and you might be thinking about dating some of those people. So I'm going to give you some tips for dating in college. Now, dating in college can be really tricky, especially if you're a freshman, because not a lot of freshman guys are ready to settle down and be in a serious relationship. I mean, they want to drink and party and fuck everything with the pulse, right? When I was in college my first year, I dated a lot of older guys. I mean, I wasn't fucking 50-year-olds, not for free at least. But dating older guys that were more mature than the guys in my grade gave me a little bit more confidence in myself. And I think that's really important because you don't necessarily have to get married to all the people that you date, but if you're dating someone more mature that allows you to experiment with dating and whatnot, then in a couple of years, when the guys that are closer to your age are ready to date, then you'll know what to do. Be sure you speak your mind with guys that you date. A lot of guys just want to play mind games and hook up, and they're not really sure what they want, or they're not ready for something serious. And you may be ready for something serious, but if you don't speak up, he could take advantage of you. It might be really disappointing to hear that a guy that you are really into only wants to hook up with you, but if you're looking for something more serious, it's better to face this disappointment now than a few months down the road when you've gotten more attached. Like I said earlier, don't expect to be married to any of the guys that you date in college. It's important to start off slowly, maybe just start off as friends with the guy and move from there. But if you rush into something too quickly and you haven't been in many relationships before, it could end not too well. Also, don't write any guys off too quickly. I mean, you might not like a certain guy at first, but at least try to give him a chance. I mean, if he's really, really, really not your type and you know that, then just move on. But don't be afraid to give different guys a chance that you might not have given a chance before. One last thing that's also really important, don't expect extravagant, flamboyant dates. I mean, you're both in college, you're both probably broke, and you're both struggling. It's a wonder if you even get a date at all with someone that you're going out with in college. So just keep your expectations for going out pretty low because not a lot of college guys are just loaded. Well, those are all the tips that I have for now. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. In the meantime, thanks for watching and I'll see you next week.